All right. Well, hello there. It is Dr. Siobhan Parat, founder of Relatable. And let me ask you a question. Now, if you are married, I want to know if you have ever had a moment in your marriage where you feel like you just really didn't know the truth about what it meant to be married or what it takes to keep and maintain a happy marriage. I feel like marriage, kind of like motherhood, is one of those things that nobody really tells you the truth about. And it's not until you're like in it yourself, until you're sort of in the thick of it, trying to like navigate some challenging situation, that you see like the real deal behind the scenes view of what it's like to be married, right? What it's like to be fully committed to another person for the rest of your life and all that comes along with that, right? It's sort of like, yes, people give you nice words of advice, they wish you well, they say they'll be there for you. But at the end of the day, when it really comes down to it, it's all on you, right? It's all on you to sort of figure things out and respond and react and try to navigate this roller coaster of marriage. I like to think of it as a roller coaster because it's one of those things that's the most beautiful and amazing experiences. But then there are really some low points that push you and stretch you and are designed to grow you in ways that you probably wouldn't raise your hand to be involved in, right? Can we just be honest here? And so I want you to know that my role as a relationship and marriage coach is to really help you see the truth of things. I want to provide you with insights that will empower you, that will encourage you, and most importantly, equip you to handle all of those bumps in the road, all of those sort of unforeseen challenges and experiences that marriage and life may bring to you. So for this stream today, what I want to be talking with you about are 5 things that they don't tell you, right? This proverbial they, 5 things they don't tell you, but that I believe every single wife needs to know and just needs to keep in the back of her mind, sort of like keep it on the back burner, plant this seed, and when these things happen or when you see them in your own marriage, you'll be better prepared and they won't catch you off guard. So I get excited about this and I got some notes. So excuse me if I look down for a second because I don't want to mess this up and I don't want to forget to tell you something that's really important, okay? So the first thing that they don't tell you that every wife needs to know is that your husband at some point in time is going to let you down and he's going to break your heart. Now, I'm coming out the gate with a really tough one. And I know, when you think of this man that you've married and you think of this person that you committed to spend the rest of your life with, right? You know that you'll have some challenges. You know that things may not always be happy-go-lucky. But I don't think most people are fully prepared for the fact that literally your heart will break, that there will be some way he disappoints you, some way you feel like he totally drops the ball, some way you feel like he's totally missed the mark of what you expected of him, what you hoped of him, what you dreamed about him being in your life. And that takes a lot of different forms for people. I'm not talking about necessarily he's going to cheat on you or something like that, but there will be some moment in your relationship, some moment in your experience together where your heart will be broken by this person. And I'm not saying he's going to do it intentionally, but we have to realize and prepare for the fact that we are all humans, that we all make mistakes, and that we all disappoint each other in some way, shape, or form along the way. And when you expect your husband to always fulfill your needs, to always, be this image of the person that you've had, when that doesn't happen, it can be completely unsettling. And so I share that truth with you so that you can just brace yourself, right? If it hasn't happened yet, but that you can brace yourself so that if it does happen, it's not the end of your story, that you aren't ready to sort of throw in the towel. And I want to assure you that every marriage goes through something like that, where your heart is literally broken, you're crying nights, weeks, months even, over a situation where he has let you down. But that does not have to be the end of your story together. So that's truth number one. Okay. I know it's heavy. I know it's a heavy hitter. So, but really important. Number two is also heavy, but also really important. And it's that you're going to reach a point where you are going to actually question if your marriage is going to survive. And I don't want to come out the gate with like the worst case scenarios, but again, I share this only to equip you and empower you and encourage you to know that every marriage goes through this low point, right? Every marriage goes through a moment where, you wonder, right? You wonder if you married the right person. You wonder if you guys are really meant to be together. You wonder if you're going to figure it out and make it to forever. And I want to encourage you again that you will, right? That it does not have to be the end of the story, that if you have really committed to the vows you've made, right? To love each other in the good times, the bad times, the sickness, the health, all of the struggles of life, right? If you're truly committed to being united and together, then those moments where you question things, those moments where you wonder if you're going to make it, are just moments. And you can recognize them as literally like attacks on your mindset, attacks from the enemy, attacks from wherever, influences can come to separate you and to divide you as a couple. But that's all it is, right? You have control over your thoughts. And you don't have to let those thoughts come into your mind, sit down, have coffee with you, tea, spend the night, become a house guest, right? You can recognize them for what they are and then quickly usher them out of your mind to know that this is just a passing thought. I don't have to stay here. In that I'm keeping my mind committed. I'm keeping myself in the direction of making this marriage work and making this marriage survive, right? So just be aware, embrace yourself for the fact that there may really be a time where you wonder if you're going to make it, but that you don't have to stay stuck there wondering. You can direct things in your marriage, in your relationship, in your mind to see it to that forever and that happily ever after situation. Okay, so that's number two. Number three is things you loved about your husband at one point will drive you absolutely crazy, right? And this is a lighter one, right? And you may have experienced that before, right? So some of the differences that you loved, right, that you guys had, like some of his strengths that maybe are weaknesses for you and vice versa, those things about him, the qualities that he embodies that maybe you don't have for yourself, those things that initially attracted you to him, will eventually, in some cases, in many cases, become sources of incredible frustration where you're like, literally, like, can you stop doing that? Or can you stop being that way? And I share that because, again, I want you to be prepared and equipped, and I want you to get in the mindset of appreciating your differences, of always looking for the good in the qualities and the characteristics of your husband, because it's going to be really easy to get into this pattern of negative thinking about him. Like, he always does this, or it's so annoying when he does this, or I can't believe he is this way. And that's only going to lead you to being more frustrated, more upset, and more disconnected. And so what I want you to do now is just prepare for that. Prepare for the things that you once loved about him are going to drive you crazy, but that they only drive you crazy if you allow them. That they still can be wonderful assets to your life, to your family, to your union together. That there's always something positive about the way he's being. Even if you can't find it, you have to train yourself to see the good in him and to give him the benefit of the doubt at all times. So that's point number 3. Number 4 is that your marriage is going to go through different seasons, right? So everyone knows that life is not always sunshine and roses, right? I don't think anyone, says that that's their expectation. But I find what happens as I talk with couples who are really struggling is that they don't really see these periods of difficulty and challenges as just seasons. They think like this is the end of it. Like we're never going to dig ourselves out of this winter, or we're never going to be able to grow leaves in this fall season where everything feels like it's falling apart. And I want to assure you that that's not the case. There's actually a book, I think Gary Chapman wrote it, about the seasons of marriage. That every marriage, just like your life, just like you as an individual, goes through different seasons. And that our job and our role through those seasons that aren't the ones that we would choose are to just patiently endure and remain confident and hopeful that a better season is coming. Like for me personally, I don't like the winter. And I live in New Jersey, and it is way cold in New Jersey in the winter. And I hate it. And I just brace myself, right? So I get a good coat, I get my, scarf, hat, gloves, the whole nine, to just insulate myself and protect myself from that brutal cold weather and those crazy winds and all that snow. And I look forward to the springtime coming because I know it's coming. I just have to make it through the winter. And I want you to be empowered to see the seasons of your marriage in the same way. So what are the, protections? What are the resources? What are the skills? What are the tools you can accumulate through those hard seasons so that you can make it to better days, right? So just keep that in mind, that every single marriage goes through seasons, but they're only seasons. You don't have to stay stuck there. And then point number 5 is you can't depend on your husband to meet all your needs. So I know that when you think of the love you share and you think of your life together and you think of yourself becoming one, that he's going to meet your needs, you're going to meet his needs, and life is just going to roll along that way. But I often say that, marriage is really just the union of two imperfect people that choose to love each other. And that oftentimes, once we unite with another person, we see them and ourselves in different ways. That really your husband oftentimes is a mirror to you, and he brings about the things within yourself that you actually need to work on. And so if there's a place in your marriage that's really frustrating you, or you're finding, you guys butt head on a particular thing or on particular issues, then that's really the time to turn the mirror on yourself and to look within yourself and ask the question, where is it that I need to grow? What skill do I need to develop? How do I need to become a better person in this experience? And oftentimes we want to take the shortcut where we want our husband to just meet our need, right? So if we're not feeling the best about ourselves and we're not, high on self-esteem, that's a time when we often really need a lot of compliments from him. We need verbal affirmations. We need validation. We need him to sort of fill the cracks and the holes that are leaking within ourselves. And what I just want to share is that he's never going to be able to fill some of the voids that you have within yourself. And that constantly looking for him to make you happy, constantly looking to him to make you feel loved, to make you feel whole, to make you feel important and a priority, isn't the solution. That the solution is looking to how you can complete yourself. And the way you do that is going to your Creator. The way you do that is turning to God to fill you up with the things that you are missing, right? And it's dangerous to rely on your husband to fill those voids in your life, because no human being can fill some of the things that we are struggling with, but it's really only through God as our Heavenly Father, as our Creator. He knows us more intimately than anyone. He knows what we need more than anyone else in the world. And so turn to Him. Turn to Him to fill you up, to show you, to reveal to you the ways that He wants to shape and mold and grow you so that you feel more complete, so that you feel more whole, so that you can show up to your marriage as a complete loving, patient, amazing person that he created you to be, so that you can be the best wife to your husband instead of constantly looking for him to be the best husband to you. So that's what I have for you. These are truths, right? I'm going to give it to you straight. And these are things that I really just want you to take to heart and focus on the one that maybe you really need to just think about a little bit more. Like, what seed has been planted by this conversation that you need to sort of water and think about and let germinate and let blossom and help to transform you and to, put your marriage maybe on a better path. So I'll summarize them quickly. Again, number one is that your husband is going to disappoint you. He's going to break your heart at some point. Number two is you'll probably reach a point in your marriage where you will really question if you're going to make it, if your marriage is going to survive. Number three is things that you once loved about him will annoy you and frustrate you to no end. But again, you got to see the good. You got to give him the benefit of the doubt. You got to focus on those great qualities that are still there about him. Number four is your marriage is going to go through seasons, and that your job during that time is to patiently endure them and know that better days are ahead. And then number five is that you can't depend on your husband to fulfill all of your needs. That you have to go to God. You have to go to your Creator to make you whole, to make you complete, to fill those empty parts of you that you're looking for your husband to do. So, heavy, right? But important. These are truths that they don't tell you, but really, honestly, every single wife needs to know these things. You need to prepare for them, you need to brace yourself, and you need to figure out what you're going to do to navigate these moments in your marriage so that you make it. So thank you so much for tuning in. If this is your first time seeing me and you're like, who is this woman coming on talking about all of these things, I want to properly introduce myself to you. I am Dr. Siobhan Parad. I am a relationship expert and marriage coach, and I help women create happier and more loving marriages without having to make over their husband. So I believe the fastest way to your own personal happiness and the quickest route to improve your marriage is by taking a good look in the mirror at the things that you can control, the things that you can do to generate more happiness, peace, love, contentment in your marriage for yourself. So you can visit my website at berelatable.com to find out all about what I'm up to read my blog posts. I've got some great freebies on there as well, and I would love to stay connected with you. So be sure to click the sign up button here on this page. And if you happen to be in New Jersey, May the 12th, I'm actually doing an event for wives. It's called the Real Life Wife. Or the Real Wife Life. The Real Wife Life. Like these words, I got all excited about the title and then I can't ever get it right. So it's the Real Wife Life. It's all about the realities of marriage and some of the things that I've just shared with you here. So again, if you happen to be in New Jersey and you're free and you want to gather with some amazing wives who are committed to making their marriage the best it can be, I would love, love, love for you to join me. The information about the event is right here on this Facebook page. Just click the events tab and you will get all of the details. And the last thing I just want to share with you is sharing, right? Sharing is caring. So if you found anything I said valuable and you think anyone in your universe of friends might benefit from hearing this message, why don't you just click the share button and share it, right? And I know when it comes to marriage, it's sort of like a touchy thing. You're like, well, I don't want to share that because I don't want people to think that I'm having problems in my marriage and whatever. Because on Facebook, right, what do? We present the best of the best. We're posting pictures of our date nights. We're posting pictures of our vacations. But no one's ever saying like, my marriage is on the verge of a breakdown. But real people are going through that right now. And sharing this message may actually save someone's marriage, right? You never know. I'm sure as you think about your own news feed, there are things that you've seen that have really touched your heart and really made a difference in your life. And the only way you came across it is because someone shared it. So I encourage you to share this. If you found anything valuable, if you think anybody in your Facebook universe might find this valuable, then share it. And that's it. So thank you so much for tuning in. And I hope that this helps you, and I hope that it helps someone you care about in your life. I'll be back with you sometime soon. Take care.